All right, let's get right into it. You know, in the world of high-ticket sales, especially in a really tough field like roofing, there's this kind of unofficial playbook. It's the thing that separates the absolute top performers from literally everyone else. And it's not magic. It's about a very specific mindset and a system that you can actually repeat.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. Because success in a job like this isn't really about just closing deals. It's a journey of personal transformation. The real work, the work that actually puts you in that top tier of earners, well, that's the work you do on yourself.
But let's be real for a second. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult. This number right here, 80%, that's the turnover rate for new sales reps in their first year. Think about that. Most people just don't make it. They get chewed up and spit out by the sheer challenge of the job.
So yeah, that brings us to the big question for this whole explainer. What is the code? What do that elite 20% know? What do they do that the other 80% just completely miss? Let's crack it open.
Okay, first things first. We have to acknowledge the reality of the situation. The reason so many people quit isn't because the customers are impossible or the product's no good. Nope, it's because the daily grind. It is a relentless mental battle.
This right here, this is the true opponent in sales. It's not the homeowner telling you no. It's that voice inside your own head screaming at you to give up. The real challenge, the core of it all, is winning that internal battle. It's facing rejection day after day, fighting off self-doubt, protecting your mindset from all the negativity. If you can pass that test, you're already on your way.
And that brings us to the very first major mindset shift in this whole playbook. The top performers, they get this fundamental truth. They aren't actually selling roofs. And here is the difference in a nutshell. The average rep, they sell the product. They focus on the what, and they talk at the customer. The elite performer, though, they solve a problem. They master the why behind it all. And maybe most importantly, they actually listen to the customer. It's a totally different game.
This is the identity you have to step into. You're a trusted advisor. Your job is to become an expert problem solver. I mean, when you can genuinely walk in, identify a homeowner's real issue, explain the consequences if they don't fix it, and then offer the absolute best path forward, the sale just becomes the logical next step. It's not something you push, it's a byproduct of creating real value.
So, okay, if trusted advisor is the mindset, then what's the strategy? Well, the elite performers, they build their entire success on a really simple but incredibly powerful framework. We call it the 5C Foundation.
These 5 pillars right here, this is the bedrock of their habits. It's all about proactively creating opportunities, not just sitting around waiting for them. It's about controlling your time with intense discipline. It's about competing with yourself every single day. And it's about consistency over time and setting challenges for yourself that are actually attainable and meaningful.
And this quote, this reveals the secret to that consistency piece. See, top reps, they completely redefine what success looks like for the day. Instead of chasing a yes, they make it their goal to collect no's. Now, why on earth would they do that? Because it guarantees they're putting in the work, it builds insane resilience, and it makes the yeses when they come a totally natural result of having a bulletproof mindset.
All right, let's get tactical. We've talked high-level strategy, but let's apply this thinking to a very specific, very real challenge. Here's how the pros handle the single biggest obstacle in any high-ticket sale: the price objection.
The best performers don't just wing it. They follow a process every single time. First, show empathy. I can appreciate that. Second, paraphrase to make sure you understand. So what you're saying is, now step 3 is crucial. You have to isolate the objection. Other than the price, is there anything else holding you back? Only then do you offer a rebuttal and re-ask for the business. It's a professional, repeatable sequence.
And here's a killer technique for isolating that objection. It's called the pie close. What you do is you build this chain of agreement. You get them saying yes to all the value points they've already agreed on. You need it, right? Yes. You want our company to do it, right? Yes. The product's amazing, right? Yes. And when they've said yes to everything, you can logically and calmly ask, so, you're saying yes to everything. What are you actually saying no to? It forces them to finally name the real objection out loud.
Now listen up, because this is the golden rule of this entire process. You, the salesperson, can never be the one to say, "Oh, so it's about the price?" The customer has to say it. The moment you say it first, you lose all your leverage. You're immediately backed into a corner talking about discounts. You have to patiently guide them until the words, "It's the price," come directly from their lips, not yours.
Okay, we've covered the mindset, we've covered the tactics. So what's the one thing, the final piece of the puzzle that ties it all together and truly separates you from all the competition out there?
This is the core thesis of the entire playbook. I want you to let that sink in for a second. In a crowded market, the company logo on your shirt, that's not the deciding factor. The brochures, the product samples, it all just blurs together for the homeowner. The single biggest differentiator is you.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Your real job isn't to sell a roof, it's to sell yourself. And you do that by providing so much value, by being such a trusted advocate and such an effective problem solver that choosing you becomes the only logical decision for the homeowner. The product? That's just the proof that they made the right choice.
So there it is. The playbook isn't some big secret anymore. The code is personal development, becoming a trusted advisor, and mastering the psychology of the sale. The strategies are all right here. So the only question left isn't what's the secret. The real question is for you. Are you willing to do the work?